Hello, welcome to my deck. Again, it is gorgeous out today. I'm Mare. I am a retired makeup artist, esthetician, nail tech, and hairstylist. Now I live out in the middle of nowhere, and here it is behind me. And now I'm a pet stylist. According to my license, I am not a dog groomer, I'm a pet stylist. Lydia, you are overdue for a haircut again. This is one of my dogs. I have 4 dogs. This is Lydia. Lydia is going to be 8 this year, and she was born with no eyes. No eyes, no problem, Lydia. And that's her Instagram page. No eyes, no problem, Lydia. Well, no eyes, no problem. She's the happiest dog in the world. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Okay. Do you want to lay up here with me? So I'm on the love seat on our deck right now, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Actually, I'm a little warm. I'm wearing stretch pants and I'm wearing a new black craft shirt with Evil Morticia on it, which is pretty cool. It was a limited edition. And I am drinking a Saratoga sparkling carbonated spring water. We had a really fun weekend. This isn't really a vlog. This is a mini book haul review. And you know what? I just remembered I have something else to show you guys. Hold on, I gotta go grab it. I'll be right back. Anyway, I have a little book haul, mini book haul review today. We went down to the Easton, Nazareth, Pennsylvania area. I just happened to mention to him, do you want to go to Barnes & Noble? Because there's a huge Barnes & Noble down there. I just love that place. They had so many cool things there. I was really proud of myself because I didn't go crazy buying things, and I have all these books I already want to read, so I really tried to control myself. And I think I did a good job. I found myself, every time I saw something I wanted or liked, asking myself, do I really need this, or should I wait and think about it? And the way I'm trying to approach things with being on low buys with a lot of stuff, especially things like audiobooks is different. I have like 500 audiobooks. I have an unlimited amount of audiobooks that I don't even know if I'll get through in this lifetime. That's one thing. The thing is like taking up clutter. I have so many books already. I don't even have enough space. I wish I had an actual library, a designated library to put them in. I don't have anywhere in here to put a library, honestly. You always want something you don't have, you know? It's good because it's really making me consider more what do I want and what do I want to put in my space. I'm very choosy of books. I must have seen 10 or 15 books that I could have easily, old me, past me would have grabbed all 10 books and said, I'm buying all these books, screw it. I did not do that. I was so good. I bought 1 book. My husband bought 2 and I bought 1. And I thought, I'm going to read this book, and after I read this book and we go down again, I will buy another 1 book. There are things too that kind of both of us want. I showed him a whole bunch of books that we were both interested in. He found one. I bought one. He found one he wanted. We were kind of looking at things together because we kind of like the same subject matter, so that's cool. We're looking at a lot of history, sociology, world travel books, and we were looking at history. I was looking at art books. I love the sale section, the bargain books, and that's where I got my 1 book I chose, and I'm so happy I got this. Okay, the sun's coming over here now. So this is the Illustrated Walden, or Life in the Woods by Henry David Thoreau, and I love the illustrations in it. The illustrations are really, really nice. There's full-on like paintings in here, like this, and then there's the pages, all the writing, but there's a lot of illustration in it. I have this really huge connection to Walden because of my creative writing Greek myth high school teacher who I had in 10th grade. His name was Mr. Carney, and he really took me under his wing because he thought I was such a good writer. He took me under his wing in creative writing and Greek myth. And I think I had him from one other class too. But he told me about Walden Pond, and he had me read, when I was in 10th grade, Life in the Woods, Walden. Our life is frittered away by detail, simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Henry David Thoreau built his small cabin on the shore of Walden Pond in 1845. For the next 2 years, he lived there as simply as possible, learning to eliminate the unnecessary material and spiritual details that intrude upon human happiness. Thoreau described his experiences in Walden using vivid, forceful prose that transforms his reflections on nature into richly evocative metaphors. In a world obsessed with technology and luxury, this American classic about seeking, quote, the essential facts of life, unquote, seems more relevant today than ever. That's why I bought it. Let's talk about why I'm reading this now. The beautiful illustrated edition of Walden brings a rarely seen artistic dimension to Thoreau's philosophical masterpiece. This hardcover with all the illustration, I love the pages in it. I love everything about it. I even like the lettering. Again with the sun. I love the font that it's typed in. I love the feel of the pages. This is just called Solitude. This was $10 in the bargain books. I am going to treasure this. So I have really great memories of Walden and this book and that time in school. I wanted to drop out of school, honestly, but they put me in senior classes when I was in 10th grade because they were trying to get me to enjoy school. And I didn't. I was like, I'm not challenged. I don't like it. I want to quit. I want to drop out. And I remember telling the principal, you're not teaching me anything I don't already know. And I think I talked about this in a vlog, but they allowed me to take Shakespeare, Greek myth, and creative writing. So 3 hours of my day when I was in 10th grade was in those classes. And they were senior only classes, but they allowed me as a 10th grader to go into those classes because I was obsessed with writing, reading and writing. Not arithmetic. I got a D in math. I had straight A's, and I was like this, like way up there in the top percentage of grade point averages. I was in like the top 5 students, and I had a D in math. Yeah, I sucked at math. I hated it. To this day, I'm better at numbers, but still, this is my jam right here. So I read this book. I really liked it. I spent many a time talking to my English teacher about Walden and about this book. My brother Walt, who is no longer with us, R.I.P. Walt, was working in New Hampshire at the time. He was in Nashua, New Hampshire. So my mom and I drove out to visit him. It was so cool. This is how cool my mom was. Again, R.I.P. my mom no longer with us. Such a great mom. Keep in mind, I was like gothy girl too. I remember being all gothy and stopping and buying roses. She actually took me to get roses in Concord, Massachusetts, because I went to Author's Ridge. She took me to the cemetery in Concord where all these famous writers, there's a whole, like the Alcotts, there's like all these famous authors that are buried there. Nathaniel Hawthorne is buried there. My mom took a picture of me at Nathaniel Hawthorne's grave, and it was just so cool. And I put red roses on Nathaniel Hawthorne's grave because I loved the Scarlet Letter. I loved the House of the Seven Gables. So on this trip, it was like a literary trip. We were going to see my brother, but I was like, oh my God, we're going to be by all of these places. So on that trip, in addition to seeing my brother in New Hampshire, we went to the House of the Seven Gables and we did the tour. She took me to Author's Ridge and to all the places where all these famous authors were buried. Got to see their graves. Anyway, on the drive out there and on the way back, when I'm driving to and from Hampton Beach, the Massachusetts trip in the summer, there's a sign right off the freeway that says Walden, like to Walden Pond. In the last 2 years, I said, that's it. I have to go to Walden Pond. I have to go see it again. The last time I was at Walden Pond was when I was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 years old, something like that. Maybe 14. I don't know. It was when I first went into 10th grade, so however old I was then. Wow, it was so long ago. But on the way back home, my mom took me to Walden, and it was really weird because I really didn't know anything about it. I just knew it was a pond, and there was a site. I can't remember if the cabin was still there, if it's still there, or remnants of it or something, but all I remember is I wanted to hike around the pond. My battery died on my camera, so and I just ran up and down the stairs 3 times because I couldn't find my dog, who is right there. It's been a day. It's a journey. I swear I try to review books and this is what happens. So, really quickly, the battery saga. So the battery died, right? It just like crapped out right in the middle of the sentence. I should just leave it in right where it died. It was funny. It just died. So then I'm like, where did I put my batteries? And the charger, because my studio is gone. My charger with my batteries always was on my gaming desk. It's been moving all over the place and I couldn't find it. So here I am with like one battery. It's dead. I can't find the charger. No other batteries anywhere. So I run downstairs. I find the charger. There's no batteries in it. Where did I put the battery? So I'm charging my one lone battery that was in here that died. Then I found the other 2, so I am charging all the batteries now, so we should be all right. Even if this one dies, it's fine. So anyway, I was saying I got the Walden book. Love this. So my plan, because I listen to so many audiobooks. Audiobooks are great if you're walking and running or working out or on a treadmill or cleaning house. I listen to audiobooks and vlogs. When I'm working on dogs, I usually listen to something. That's nice, but I wanted something to force me to slow down so that I just sit still on my deck and I'm not fussing. Because what I do is I'll put on an audiobook or a podcast and then I start playing Free Cell or I'm scrolling through Google and then I'm not even focusing on the book. This will focus me on the book. I will need to sit here and read it and read the words to read this book. Now, I have not read Walden since I was in 10th grade. So I'm really curious. I don't really remember a lot of it, but here's a great quote. I had 3 chairs in my house, 1 for solitude, 2 for friendship, 3 for society. I like how they have little quotes that are like in a leaf. They have a leaf like this, and then they have a quote highlighted. This one says, follow your genius closely enough, and it will not fail to show you a fresh prospect every hour. Look at the ducks. That's such a gorgeous duck painting. Can you believe this was $10? If you have a Barnes & Noble, highly recommend. I've been doing Peter's book club, Peter Moun's book club. Last couple of months, I've been reading the books he's suggesting, and I just finished his April book, my unofficial book club book, Walden or Life in the Woods by Henry David Thoreau. You can find this everywhere. You can find, the nice thing about this book, guys, it's old. This was published in 1854. More relevant today than ever. Published in 1854. Here's another quote. The surface of the earth is soft and impressible by the feet of men, and so with the paths which the mind travels. Direct your eye right inward, and you'll find 1,000 regions in your mind yet undiscovered. Travel them and be an expert in home cosmography. Ooh, oh, such a good book. So anyway, published in the 1800s, still relevant. On the back, it says, this American classic about seeking the essential facts of life seems more relevant today than ever. I'm very into the nature in my yard. I love this. This yard and this home is kind of my Walden. It's our Walden, although we are not living simply, guys. We are not eliminating unnecessary material and spiritual details that intrude upon our happiness. I've been talking about my low buys. I've been talking about simplifying life. I have too much stuff. It's distracting me. I want to clarify my vision and my purpose. And I'm staring out into space as I talk to you because my eyes get really wide and I just stare and I fixate on a spot. You know when your computer has that little hourglass that's turning? Or the little clock going around? That's my brain doing. Okay, I want to see what I get out of this. I am going to be reading this and reviewing it for you. Nothing can deter a poet, for he is actuated by pure love. There's one sentence right here that says, how blind that cannot see serenity. I was rich, if not in money, in sunny hours and summer days, and I've spent them lavishly. That's okay. I need a bookmark. Oh, look, I have a little thing putting that right there. I really want to see if I can find what's relevant in this for me today, which I think will be great. Okay, let's get to these other books because it's getting really long. This is something I bought that is a book, but it's not really a book. How cute is this? Little letters for lunch. Keep it short and sweet. Pack a little love into lunchtime. Quick and easy. Write a little message, fold, seal, and deliver with lunch. 75 little letters and 3 stickers. It has sticker sheets. So it says, send love with little letters for lunch. Tell someone why they're special. Draw a funny face. Send encouraging words. Doodle a design. Share a joke or riddle. Wish someone a great day. Send a note of love. Look how cute these are. So they're like this. They look like a little note. I'll tear one out so you can see it. I love making lunches for my husband to take to work. Where he works, I've talked about it in vlogs before. There are no restaurants close to where he works. Their office is kind of in an industrial area in New Jersey. So there's the sticker sheets. Hold on. It's getting windy. I don't want my little note to blow away. There's 3 different sticker sheets in the back so you can seal these. This is the front. You write the little note right here. And then you fold this. Wait, it should be this one, then this one, then this one, and then this one. Look how cute this is. And then you put the little sticker right there. And look, it's a little tiny letter in lunch. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? I saw these and I had to kind of sneak and buy them so we wouldn't see them. This is from chroniclebooks.com. $10. For a lot of happiness and a lot of love. 75 notes. I think one a week would be really adorable just to surprise him. A lot of times I'll put a note or a card, like a thinking of you card or something in his lunch, or a thank you card. And he's told me somehow when I do that, it'll coincidentally be a day that he's having a really bad day. And he's like, oh my God, that card made my day. And he'll send me little hearts and a text message. Okay, so this is the book that my husband chose when we were in the local section. This is called Rail Trails of Pennsylvania. The Definitive Guide to the State's Top Multi-Use Trails, the official Rails to Trails Conservancy guidebook by Wilderness Press. The 72 of the best rail trails and multi-use pathways. Detailed maps for every rail trail, plus driving directions to trailheads. Succinct descriptions written by rail trail experts. And this is from the Rails to Trails Conservancy, which is very cool. I am really a huge fan of Rails to Trails. We got mountain bikes and we went mountain biking. And the next thing I'm doing is I'm buying one of the trailers. I'm going to review it. I'm going to hook it up and we're going to take Casper out. But I'm buying one of the trailers that goes behind my bike so that Casper and the dogs, if they want to, they can ride along with us. There is a trail not far from me. It goes through Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre. If you're familiar with The Office, Scranton, all out there. There's a rail trail that is so long. It's called the D&L Trail. D&L. All across the country, unused railroad corridors have been converted into public multi-use trails. Here, the experts from Rails to Trails Conservancy present the best of these rail trails as well as other multi-use pathways in Pennsylvania. One of the things I like about rail trails, you're repurposing something. All these old railroad tracks, all these things along the railroads, and then you see all these cool buildings that otherwise, there are places that you cannot see these things unless you're on these rail trails. My husband was all excited because he was reading about the D&L Trail. And so here's the D&L Trail, and then it gives you all the little icons. So there's fishing, there's cross-country skiing, there's snowmobiling. It's handicap accessible. There is hills. There's a little bike with like a little mountains. There's hilly areas. There's also a little speed biker, and there's a walker. It goes through Bucks, Carbon, Lehigh, Luzerne, and Northampton County. This trail is 143.8 miles total. So this is one of those things where my husband and I can just pick a section of the trail and do it like 10 miles at a time or something like that. Only got a roughness index of 2, which is nice. It's very family friendly. I've been familiar with it for years. I have really wanted to go on this trail for so long. So rail trails are multi-use public paths built along former railroad corridors, most often flat or following a gentle grade. They're suited to walking, running, cycling, mountain biking, inline skating, cross-country skiing, horseback riding, and wheelchair use. For my niece and everyone maybe in a wheelchair, you can still get out there and go on these. You have to find where you have a way to get on the trail and off, and this is a great book for that, to know where you can go. If you want to look up more about it, it's greatamericanrailtrail.org. Railstotrails.com is like this website. You can find all this stuff up. Come on. There you go. He's back. So this is pretty cool though. So we just want to start picking places. Like here's Lycoming Creek Bikeway, and they have a picture of what it looks like. So yeah, this is going to be a project this year. We're going to pick days, and when we're not going to a vineyard, you know what? We got to buy. Why don't we go on Amazon? We need to buy your trailer. You need to get your trailer. We need your trailer so you can go bike with Mommy and Daddy. We're going to go on bike excursions. I have my backpack for food and water. It's like a picnic basket backpack that I can wear to pack all of our food and our beverages. And a picnic blanket for this guy. And also the, I think it's a Schwinn, the trailer that I'm looking for to go behind my bike. Okay, let Mommy finish recording. Get your bone. Get your chewy. There you go. All right, so that's that. We're having an interruption. This is what happens. And there's dog hair all over me. So my husband and I both stumbled across this, but he grabbed it. We're to the gothy part of the book review. Saving the best for last. No, not necessarily. I love all these books. Atlas of Dark Destinations. Explore the world of dark tourism. So who knows about dark tourism? It's very interesting. It's where you go to like spooky places. You go to abandoned amusement parks. The big one is Chernobyl. This is your passport to over 300 dark destinations. This is a hardcover. It's really nice. It's very much like a coffee table book. On the back, the picture on the back is the ghost town of Pripyat in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which has become the holy grail of nuclear tourism. Nuclear tourism is a big thing with the dark destinations. My husband loves it. Personally, I'm like, I'm healthy, knock on wood. I don't need to be going to places that are like going, okay, you know what I'm saying. Dark tourism is on the rise, with more and more travelers choosing to engage meaningfully with sites of tragic significance in order to better understand and reflect on devastating world events. Travel back in time to visit Soviet-era gulags and Cold War fortifications. Okay, first off, ain't nobody traveling to Russia right now to do this. Well, there are people doing it, but average Joes and Janes like me and you are not traveling to Russia. Okay, I'm not going to a gulag, all right? I'll probably go there and they'll put me in a gulag. So, no. But there are other places in here. Don't worry, this isn't all Soviet stuff. Glimpse into an apocalyptic future in the exclusion zone of Chernobyl. No thank you. Learn about the A-bombing Hiroshima or Hiroshima, depending on how you pronounce it, and Nagasaki. Bear witness to unforgettable tragedies at battle sites, death camps. Well, that sounds depressing. And killing fields. That's depressing too. Be inspired by stories of enormous sacrifice and the triumph of the human spirit and get ready to embark on the trip of a lifetime. Now, here's the thing. Right now, if somebody is going, that's so depressing, why would you want to take a vacation somewhere so tragic and sad? You can take vacation. Wow, that is really a blinding orange. Whoa, I opened it. Look, it's like bouncing off my skin. It's so orange. I like the black and orange. There's something to be said. This came out in 2021, by the way. There's something to be said for going to tragic places to, like, there's that quote about remember history lest it repeat itself, kind of something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But, you know, you don't want to forget history. We don't want history repeating itself. These horrible things that happen, we don't want them to happen again. Everyone, maybe if people were forced to go to these really tragic places, it would pull them out of being so into their own little, what's the word I'm looking for? They have like a little microscopic way of looking at the world, like, this is how this all affects me. Me. Okay, well, millions of people, trillions of people have died all over in horrible things. Let's not forget those. Like, sometimes it's not all about you. You know what I mean? Is it in here? It's in here. No, this is the Museum of Death in Hollywood. Okay, there's a Museum of Death in Michigan. It is literally like 3 minutes from my friend Jamie's house. It's in Mount Clemens, Michigan. It's called the Anatomy of Death Museum, though, I think. I don't think it's called the Museum of Death, because that's the one in Los Angeles. But I have 2 free passes. Oh my God, my camera stopped again. I want to do a video when I go there in May. I want to interview him. If you want to see that, let me know. I mean, I know it's weird, but, you know, I love all the dark stuff. I love things like that. I'm not afraid of death. None of that freaks me out. Oh my God, the Mutter Museum is in here. I've been there. I've been to the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. Here is the table of contents. There's a lot of places in here. So we have the Americas and Antarctica. Who's going to Antarctica? Okay, anyway. Eastern State Penitentiary's in here, though. Let me pull that one up, because I know where that is. It's another place I might be filming this summer. I like that they have the ratings in here. Eastern State Penitentiary. Here she is. I'm probably going there very soon. It has a dark rating of 5. Let's talk about what the dark rating is first before I tell you that. Main objective is to provide an overview of the most important dark destinations around the globe. Some 300 distinct places in 90 different countries, prisons, concentration camps. That's so sad. Nuclear test sites, volcanoes. I'm all about the volcanoes. I want to go to volcanoes. I'm one of those crazy people who wants to go see volcanoes. I want to hike around the rim of volcanoes. I want to go see them. If I died seeing a volcano, that's how I meant to go, then the last thing I saw was a volcano. I mean, come on. I don't want to die seeing the inside of a hospital room, people. I want to go, how did she die? Active volcano. Put that on my gravestone. Come on. Assassination spots, medical museums, ghost towns, and more. I love the ghost towns. Do you guys love the ghost towns? This is an atlas in so much as it is geographically organized, roughly from northwest to southeast, starting on west coast of North America and ending in South Pacific. They have a short introductory text. Some of them count as destinations and countries at the same time, some small islands. Each designation includes an indication of its location, what category or categories of dark tourism it represents, and 2 ratings. The first is a star rating from 1 to 5. This is a general quality, assessment reflecting on such criteria as how accessible it is, how well appointed it is for visitors. Oh, so it's not just spooky value. Other practicalities. Oh, whether it's multilingual or not, other practicalities relating to tourist experience. The second rating is a dark rating on a scale of 1 to 10, not intended to weigh up tragedy against tragedy, but rather to indicate how tangible the dark events that took place are to visitors today. This is a very respectfully written book. I really like that. They're not, okay, they're not playing up the, oh, it's scary. It's like, what was that? Remember that Faces of Death series? It's not like that, okay? Under this system, for example, places with physical reminders of genocide, such as authentic structures and artifacts, are given a higher ranking than places where similarly tragic events are represented by symbolic monuments. Similarly, less grim sites like Colditz, page 152, or say socialist sculpture parks, which may represent regressive regimes but where nobody came to serious harm directly, are always also awarded a lower rating. Long and short entries reflecting the relative significance. Some have a couple paragraphs, while more important top sites such as Chernobyl spread over as many as 4 pages. Oh, Père Lachaise. We went to Père Lachaise. If you missed, when I was in France, I went to Père Lachaise. My TikTok, there's a part 1 and 2 and maybe a part 3 of when we went to Père Lachaise in France. Been there. Love it. I am going to some very cool spooky destinations when we're in Ireland. I am trying to go tour the alleged Hellfire Club in Ireland outside of Dublin when I go. So if you're into that, I am going to have more of that stuff, the spooky tourism stuff. Like I said, I'm going to Eastern State Penitentiary this year as well. They said they tried to keep this concise. It doesn't have to be read cover to cover. This is nice. Here's North America, and they just have the spots highlighted. Luckily, my side of the country has a lot. There's 10 out of 23 near me. There's a lot in Washington, D.C. Manhattan Project. My husband and I really want to go to the Trinity site. If you watched Oppenheimer, you know all this stuff. I'm not going to go into the whole Centralia thing. I may do a video on it. There's a picture of the road that's painted that goes through Centralia. If you're familiar with the story, you can comment below. I went to the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. My best friend Jamie wanted to go. He was in Philadelphia for a medical convention. So I met him in Philly and we went to the Mutter Museum, part of the College of Physicians of Philadelphia. It's one of the most eminent medical museums. We were in there and I remember we walked into the wall of the formaldehyde babies, and Jamie was fascinated, but he's a doctor and I've been friends with him since he was a medical student. He's fascinated by all these things. Once I got to that part, we had already been through the whole museum. We got to that and I said, okay, I'm out. I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, and I had to actually leave and get some fresh air because I was just kind of overwhelmed by the whole thing, and it was a lot. To do the Mutter Museum in one day and see everything and just go from weird thing to weird thing to weird thing and all these medical anomalies and all this stuff, it actually says, the last paragraph, this place is not for the faint-hearted. It is no wonder that photography inside the exhibition is strictly prohibited. Yet they have a picture. But you can go on the Mutter Museum's website. It's MU with the umlaut, the U, Mutter Museum. So it is a medical museum. As it says, it's part of the College of Physicians of Philadelphia. If you're a doctor or a medical student, you would love it. If you're into gory, weird stuff, you would love it. But let me tell you, it was overwhelming for me and I had to go out and get air. I was like, too much. They lost me at Jar Babies. I wasn't sick. I wasn't upset. It was just overwhelming. The senses, my senses were overwhelmed. And I mean, I can close my eyes and I can still see it. I remember standing there and telling Jamie, okay, I'm out. I have to go get some fresh air. And I went outside and got air and I was fine. I'm not scarred for life. It didn't mess me up. It was just very overwhelming and it was a lot to take in. I mean, it's fascinating, but if you're not a medical student or not a doctor, it is just crazy. It's crazy. And it really, I think the other thing is it really makes you land face to face with your mortality. The Mutter Museum, I'd say for me, that too, when you go to the Anatomy of Death Museum or the Museum of Death in LA, it really hits you in the mortality. You know, you're like, wow, I'm still here. All these people aren't. And this is all, you know what a memento mori is. It was a Victorian thing. Is they carry a memento mori. I'm very into that. It's a reminder that life is short. We're all going to go. A lot of people think it's morbid, but it's a reminder to live every day and enjoy life every day. Be grateful. You're still here. You got this life because you know what? You're not here forever. So go see all this crazy stuff. Pearl Harbor's in here. They have the South Pacific. A lot of places in Russia. Tons of places in Europe. Memoriam of the Nuremberg trials. They have, look at Central Europe. I mean, Central Europe is insane because of World War II, pretty much. Germany, Austria, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary. I mean, this is insane. That's all of that. Oh, Aberfan is in here. if you're familiar with Aberfan, that's in southern Wales, and it was a landslide. There's a great episode of The Crown on Netflix about it, and the title of it is Aberfan. So if you're not familiar with it, Aberfan is a really crazy story. It's really tragic. It's really sad. Many children were killed there. It was horrifying. 5 teachers, 109 school children perished, plus another 30 children and adults in surrounding buildings. It was not a natural disaster. It was a wall of slurry that had formed when a coal mine spoils. When a coal mine spoils tip on a neighboring hillside collapsed after heavy rain. However, the spoils tip had been placed on unsuitable land from the beginning, and the blame was ultimately put squarely on the National Coal Board. Nobody was prosecuted. Only after lengthy campaigning were similar potentially dangerous spoil heaps near Aberfan removed. The trauma suffered by the community where an entire generation had been wiped out is a lasting one. It's still palpable today, even though there are no signs of the destruction or its causes are still visible. Disaster is commemorated by a memorial garden where the school once stood, and the paths and flower beds subtly recreate its floor plan. Aww, it was horrible. There's a picture of it right there. But if you want to know a fictionalized kind of, it's I think pretty historically accurate, but a fictionalized version, you can watch The Crown on Netflix. I'm not sure what season it's in, but look up Aberfan, Netflix, and The Crown, and you'll see it. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of, wow, this got dark. Let's go back to something happy. Let's go back to little lunch letters. So that was a long thing, but dark tourism. I don't want to do a lot of dark tourism stuff on here, and if I do, I might do a second channel. I've been talking about other channels. I might start a second channel with stuff like this, like my tourism stuff. But I don't know, I like putting it here too, so you guys who have followed me all this time for years can also watch it. Mr. Casper goes, do I get to go too? Well, I don't know if you're going to go to spooky places. You can't so much go to spooky places, but you can go on the rail trails with me. Yes. So we're going to go rail trails, happy places, hiking, historical, and spooky places. Spooky places? The only thing he's afraid of is lack of snacks. Silly boy. He's going to be 9 months old soon. He's still a spaz. Let me know if you would like to read Walden. Let me know what you think of the rail trails. I think this is a very interesting selection of books. Sorry this is so long, but I have not talked about books on my channel ever, and I am such a nerd with books. This is kind of a welcome to this side of me and the multifaceted NiteMare Bliss. In my spare time, I'm reading crazy books. Anyway, I hope you like this. Let me know what you think of these books. Like, subscribe, follow along, tell me what you're interested in. I know the dark destinations, the dark history stuff freaks a lot of people out. Don't be worried if it freaks you out. That's normal. If it triggers you, if it freaks you out, that's fine. I am just one of those people who's like, I'm fascinated with what part of me does this awaken and why does it trigger me and what bothers me about it. And then you take a flashlight and you shine a flashlight on it and then it's not so scary anymore, is it? That's how you get rid of the darkness. You turn on that flashlight and you learn about it. You learn all you can. You go, what can I get from this? What can I learn from this? How can I let this scary thing transform me maybe into a better person? And that's about it. That's how I look at that stuff. You have to approach it from a very respectful way. And I think this Atlas of Dark Destinations, I think it sounds very respectful. I like the way Peter Hohenhaus, Hohenhaus is the author. I need to talk to this guy, ask him why New Orleans and St. Augustine isn't in there. I got a few other places. 2 different cemeteries that I went to in New Orleans that were really cool. Very fascinating places. Beautiful to walk through. You could do all the cemetery tours. There's the voodoo museums there, Congo Square. A lot of the things I saw when I was in New Orleans and Congo Square especially was fascinating to me. I have to get down to New Orleans. Thanks for watching, and I could go on about this stuff forever. I've had so many adventures already, but excited to do adventures with books. Maybe I'll call my new channels Adventures and Books. I don't know. Adventures with Books, Adventures and Books. Do you have an idea? If you do, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I will see you very soon. I'm trying to upload as much as possible. And Casper's back with the toy. I better go. Bye, guys.